The recent ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, brokered after a fierce exchange of fire, has left many observers perplexed. On the surface, Benjamin Netanyahu's decision to agree to a cessation of hostilities appears to be a strategic retreat. The Israeli Prime Minister, known for his hawkish stance, has long maintained an uncompromising position against Hezbollah. Yet, the recent ceasefire suggests a more nuanced reality. Netanyahu's calculus is likely driven by a complex interplay of factors, both domestic and international. Domestically, the Israeli public, wearied by years of conflict, has shown increasing signs of fatigue with military interventions. Internationally, Israel faces mounting pressure to de-escalate tensions in the region. The Biden administration, while remaining a staunch ally of Israel, has adopted a more measured approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The seasoned politician is likely using the ceasefire as a tactical pause to regroup and reassess his options. To understand the current situation, one must delve into the historical context of the Israeli-Lebanese conflict. The two nations have been locked in a state of hostility for decades, punctuated by periods of intense fighting. The 2000 withdrawal of Israeli forces from southern Lebanon, after a 22-year occupation, did little to quell the tensions. In 2006, a full-blown conflict erupted, triggered by a Hezbollah cross-border raid. The 34-day war resulted in significant casualties on both sides, and further entrenched Hezbollah as a formidable force in the region. Subsequent years witnessed sporadic flare-ups, with both sides exchanging fire across the heavily fortified border. In 2023, a new wave of violence erupted, escalating into a full-blown conflict in 2024. The recent ceasefire marks a fragile pause in this latest chapter of the conflict, but the underlying issues remain unresolved. Hezbollah, designated as a terrorist organization by many Western countries, views Israel's existence as an illegitimate encroachment on Arab land. A key factor in this conflict is Hezbollah's formidable military capabilities, particularly its vast and largely undisclosed missile arsenal. Over the years, Hezbollah has amassed an estimated arsenal of over 150,000 rockets and missiles, capable of striking deep within Israeli territory. This arsenal, supplied primarily by Iran, poses a significant threat to Israel's security. Hezbollah's missile capabilities have grown exponentially since the 2006 war. The group has invested heavily in acquiring more advanced and longer-range missiles, including precision-guided munitions. These missiles, capable of striking strategic targets within Israel, have significantly altered the balance of power in the region. Israel has developed sophisticated missile defense systems, such as Iron Dome and David Sling, to counter the threat posed by Hezbollah's rockets. However, these systems, while effective against short-range rockets, are not foolproof and can be overwhelmed by a massive barrage. Lebanon's military strategy extends beyond Hezbollah's capabilities. The country has adopted a unique and arguably effective approach to national defense, characterized as a people's resistance model. This model rests on three pillars: the Lebanese people, the resistance movement, primarily Hezbollah, and the Lebanese army. The Lebanese people, having endured decades of conflict and foreign intervention, possess a strong sense of national identity and a willingness to defend their homeland. Hezbollah, with its deep roots in Lebanese society and its proven track record of resistance against Israel, acts as a powerful deterrent force. The Lebanese army, while comparatively weaker than Hezbollah, plays a crucial role in maintaining internal security and defending the country's borders. This three-pronged approach has proven to be a formidable deterrent against Israeli aggression. It has also allowed Lebanon to punch above its weight in the region, effectively deterring Israeli incursions and asserting its sovereignty. Some argue that Hezbollah's dominance undermines the Lebanese state and fuels regional instability. The recent ceasefire, while providing a temporary respite from violence, has done little to alleviate Israel's security concerns. Hezbollah's missile arsenal remains intact, posing a constant threat to Israeli population centers and critical infrastructure. The ceasefire agreement did not include any provisions for the disarmament of Hezbollah, a long-standing demand of Israel and its allies. This has fueled concerns within Israel that Hezbollah will use the ceasefire to regroup, rearm, and prepare for the next round of conflict. The specter of a future conflict, potentially more devastating than previous ones, looms large over Israel's security calculations. A full-scale military operation to neutralize Hezbollah's missile capabilities would be costly and risky, potentially triggering a wider regional conflict. On the other hand, tolerating the continued existence of Hezbollah's missile arsenal poses an unacceptable threat to Israel's security. The ceasefire represents a fragile truce in a conflict that is far from over. Netanyahu's concerns extend beyond Lebanon's borders. He harbors deep anxieties about the potential for Hezbollah's model of resistance to be replicated in neighboring Syria. The Syrian civil war, now in its second decade, has created a power vacuum that Iran and its allies, including Hezbollah, have been quick to exploit. Hezbollah has provided crucial military support to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, helping him regain control over significant parts of the country. This has raised alarm bells in Israel, with Netanyahu fearing that a resurgent Assad, indebted to Hezbollah and Iran, could facilitate the transfer of advanced weapon systems to Hezbollah. The prospect of a Hezbollah-armed Syria, capable of opening a second front against Israel, represents a nightmare scenario for Israeli security planners. Netanyahu has repeatedly warned against Iran's growing influence in Syria, launching airstrikes against Iranian-linked targets within Syrian territory. The current situation also highlights Lebanon's ongoing struggle to assert its sovereignty and secure its borders. The country, still grappling with the legacy of civil war and foreign intervention, faces an uphill battle in establishing full control over its territory. Hezbollah's presence, while seen by many Lebanese as a necessary bulwark against Israeli aggression, also poses challenges to the Lebanese state's authority. The group operates independently of the Lebanese government, often making decisions that have significant implications for Lebanon's national security without consulting Beirut. This duality of power creates a complex and often contradictory dynamic. On the one hand, Hezbollah's military capabilities provide a deterrent against Israeli aggression. On the other hand, Hezbollah's independence of action and its close ties to Iran undermine the Lebanese state's sovereignty and fuel regional tensions. Lebanon's ability to navigate this delicate balance will be crucial in determining its future stability and prosperity. The Lebanese model of resistance, characterized by the interplay between a resilient population, a powerful non-state actor, and a national army, has garnered attention across the region. Could this model be replicated elsewhere, particularly in countries facing similar challenges of foreign intervention and occupation? The Palestinian territories, for example, have long struggled for statehood and an end to Israeli occupation. Could the Lebanese model, with its emphasis on popular resistance and armed struggle, offer a viable path forward for the Palestinians? Similarly, in Syria, where the civil war has created a fragmented and volatile landscape, could the Lebanese model inspire local communities to take up arms and resist external actors? The Lebanese model, while effective in the Lebanese context, is not easily transferable to other settings. Any attempt to replicate the Lebanese model elsewhere would need to carefully consider these complexities and potential pitfalls. The recent ceasefire underscores the shifting power dynamics in the region. Netanyahu, once the undisputed strongman, now faces a more complex geopolitical landscape. The Biden administration's approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Iran nuclear deal has created friction in the US-Israel relationship. Netanyahu's close ties to Trump have eroded some of Israel's bipartisan support in Washington. The Abraham Accords have not translated into a united front against Iran. Gulf Arab states are pursuing their own interests, avoiding direct confrontation with Tehran. Ongoing conflicts and the rise of regional powers like Turkey and Russia complicate the landscape. Netanyahu's ability to shape events is waning in this unpredictable environment. As the Middle East grapples with these shifting sands, it is imperative for regional actors to prioritize dialogue, diplomacy, and a respect for national sovereignty. Syria, in particular, stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of foreign intervention and the erosion of state authority. The Syrian people have endured over a decade of brutal civil war, fueled by external actors pursuing their own agendas. The conflict has resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths, millions of displaced people, and the destruction of Syria's social and economic fabric. It is time for the international community to prioritize a Syrian-led political solution that respects Syria's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the aspirations of its people. Just as Lebanon has fought to assert its independence and chart its own course, Syria too deserves the opportunity to rebuild and determine its own destiny free from external interference. The path forward will be arduous and fraught with challenges, but the alternative, continued conflict and instability, is simply unacceptable. The international community must learn from the mistakes of the past and work collaboratively to support a peaceful and prosperous future for Syria and the entire region.